Hello, my name is Andrew Bakari, and today we'll be overviewing question 19 on the commonly wrong SAT questions. This states the square root of 14 minus 2x equals x minus 7. What is the value of x that satisfies the equation shown? So, let's start off with writing out this equation. Square root of 14 minus 2x equals x minus 7. All right. Now, how do you get rid of the square root? What is the opposite of it? The opposite is squaring. So in doing so, this takes out that, leaving us with 14 minus 2x equals, and because we had to square this side, we had to square the other side to keep things balanced. And this right here, we can use FOIL, if you remember that. And so this will turn into x squared minus 14x plus 49. All right, now this is where the equation gets a bit tricky, and this is where kids probably most likely made their mistake. We need to get either one of these onto one side, so then one side equals 0 while the other side has all the numbers. So let's bring these over here. So how do you get this over here? You get the opposite of it, which is negative 14 plus 2x. Negative 14 plus 2x. These cancel out each other, leaving you with 0. And then this equals x squared. This right here, negative 14x plus 2x equals negative 12x. And then 49 minus 14 equals 35. All right. Now here is where we get a trinomial to become a binomial. If you remember that, that's from, I believe, quad. So how we do that is we go x minus 5, x minus 7 equals 0. So now we just made binomials. Now, if you remember from doing this, one of these has to equal 0 for this to equal 0. One of these. It can be both, but this is most likely an OR situation. So this or this equals 0. So let's solve for x minus 5 equals 0, and that will equal x equals 5. All right. X minus 7 equals 0. These are the hypotheticals. And x equals 7. Now, some people, this is probably where most people made their mistake, is that they thought that this and this were the answer, and then they just ended the problem. That's the trick of this situation. You actually have to plug these back into the original equation and see if it comes out as the same answer on both sides. If it does, then it checks out. If it doesn't, then it's not the right answer. So let's do 7 first. So the square root of 14 minus 2 times 7 equals 7 minus 7. This right here equals the square root of 14 minus 14 equals 0. And this right here equals square root of 0, 0, 0 equals 0. That right there checks out. All right. Now the next one is 5. The square root of 14 minus 2 times 5 equals 5 minus 7. Now this will be broken down to 14 minus 10 equals, and this right here is negative 2. Square root of 4 equals negative 2, 2 equals negative 2. That's not true, right? So that means that 5 is not the right answer, leaving us with x equals 7. All right, so now that we got done with me explaining the problem, let's go over a problem for you. Now you can pause the video, you can take a screenshot of this, whatever you want to do, or you can just wait and let me solve it for you. But I'd highly advise you try this out before I show you the answer. So I'll leave you for a moment of silence right now. All right, so this is how you solve it. Similarly to the last way we solved, we're going to deal with the square root first. So let's rewrite the equation. So how do you get rid of the square root? You square. All right, and that leaves us with 40 minus 2x equals, and by using FOIL in this situation, it gets you x squared plus 8x plus 16. All right, now let's bring this all over to one side. Now, in the first example, we brought this side over here. You don't have to do it that way. So in this example, I'm actually going to do it the other way. I'm going to bring the x squared over with everything with it. So what's the opposite of this whole equation? Negative x squared minus 8x minus 16. So let's rewrite that over here. Negative x squared minus 8x minus 16. All right, these two cancel out each other, leaving us with negative x squared. Now, negative 8x plus negative 2x equals negative 10x. 40 plus negative 16 leaves us with 35. No, wait, no. It leaves us with, what was it? 24. All right, 24. And this equals 0. So, as you can remember from the first equation, we got a trinomial, and now we'll split into a binomial. So this binomial will be negative x plus 2 times x plus 12 equals 0. All right. And now, like what we said beforehand, these are the hypothetical reaches to get to 0. So one of these has to be 0. So let's go with this hypothetical first. Minus x plus 2 equals 0. Let's bring over the 2 to the other side. And because both sides are negative, we can actually just get rid of the negative sign, leaving us with x equals 2. All right, second one is x plus 12 equals 0. Now let's bring the 12 over, leaving us with x equals negative 12. So let's go with the 2 first in this situation. So now let's prove to see if it's true. Square root of 40 minus 2 times 2 equals 4 plus 2. The square root of 40 minus 4 equals 6. The square root of 36 equals 6, and the square root of 36 is 6, which means that this checks out. 2 is a correct answer, but that doesn't mean we're done yet. We need to make sure that this right here is or is not a correct answer. And that's probably where people most likely made their mistakes. All right, so let's plug it in. square root of 40 minus 2 times negative 12 equals 4 minus 12. Now we get 40, and this in this case would be plus 24 equals negative 8. This right here would be equal to 64 equals negative 8, and 64, the square root of that is 8. And 8 cannot equal negative 8, meaning that negative 12 is not the right answer. Not the right answer. Negative 12, not the right answer. And that's how I figure out the equation. So what value of x satisfies the equation? 2. And that is how you get the answer. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you have any more questions, please contact me at andrew.bakari@ewg.k12.ri.us. And I'll quickly write that down because that was a mouthful. All of it is in lowercase. There you go. Again, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. And good luck on the SAT.